Hi, I'm Zach, and today we're going to be talking about solving a linear algebra equation. One of the big things that people, when they hear algebra, they freak out. Oh my gosh, algebra, you know, numbers, letters, this doesn't make sense to me. And it's usually because people are just unfamiliar, uncomfortable, seeing something new. And hopefully today we're going to start to kind of chip away at those insecurities and start to become more comfortable. So the first thing we want to think about when we are solving a linear algebra equation is we want to think of it as a balance. And anytime, as with a balance, if we take something from one side, then we're going to have to take something from the other side too in order to keep it balanced. So if we take something from this side, the balance is going to be, like this. So we have to take something from the other side to get it back to even. That's one of the big things. And this balance occurs on both sides of the equal sign. So in our equation right here, we have a 3x plus 20 equals 6x plus 5. So the first thing we want to do in algebra is we want to isolate the variable, because the variable is the thing we don't know. It's the thing we want to know. The variable could be anything. X, Z, heart, box. It's just a placeholder for a value we don't know yet. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to get that by itself. Okay, so if on one side we have the 3x plus 20, to get the x part by itself, we're going to want to take 20 away, which seems right. Okay, because we have 20 taken 20 away. So after we take 20 away from the left, we get 3x, and when we take 20 away from the right, okay, we're not touching the x part yet. Anything touching the x, these are what's called constants, and so we're subtracting those first. So if we're taking 20 away, we're just taking it away from the 5. So 5 minus 20 is going to be minus 15, but we still have that 6x originally. So now we have 3x equals 6x plus, or 6x minus 15. So now what we still want to do is we want to isolate that variable. So we want to get the variable on one side by itself. So now we have a variable by itself over here, and we have a variable and a constant over here. So we want to take the variable from this side and bring it to this side. So if we have 6x over here, we want to move that 6x over. So we're going to subtract 6x from both sides. So if we had 3x and we take 6x away, that leaves us with minus 3x. And if we had 6x and we take 6x away, that's 0x. So now we just have that minus 15. Okay, so now we have our variable isolated, and then we have what it's equal to on the other side. But this number in front of the x is what's called a coefficient. The coefficient is basically something that is multiplying the x. So if we have minus 3 multiplying the x, if we divide by 3, that just gives us x. It's the same with anything. If we have 6 divided by 6, that's 1. If we have negative 3 divided by negative 3, that's 1. So in order to get the x by itself, we want to divide by 3. But anything we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So we are going to divide both sides by 3. So minus 3x divided by minus 3 is just going to give us our x. That x is going to equal minus 15 divided by minus 3, which is basically the same as 15 divided by 3. 15 divided by 3, that's just 5. X equals 5 is our answer. So we've just solved our first algebraic equation. And what we can do to check that is we can plug this value of x back into our original equation, and both sides should be equal. So let's start. So x equals 5. So in place of the x, we put a 5. So 3 times 5, that's 15. 15 plus 20, that's 35. Okay? Okay, so now we put the 5 into the x right here. 6 times 5, 30. 30 plus 5, 35. So 35 equals 35. So we checked it, it works, and we found our value. This is one of the most important concepts in all of math. And once you get it down, it's one of the most easy concepts of math. and hopefully we started to kind of chip away at some of those difficulties, and we'll move from there. Thank you for listening.